So now we are in game 2 of T1 versus Sandbox in the playoffs. So we do see that as a banned, they just can't give it to Faker. Like, this guy is too good on that champion. If you give it him, you're kind of griefing. So we will see that. We probably will see that ban very, very much at Worlds. But we see the Renekton ban. I really don't like that. I think it's a bit of a waste. But maybe they're looking for Nah early again. They're just basically... The thing is, they're just basically saying top doesn't matter and just putting them on a lane bully and then just leaving them to it. You know, see you later on into the game. So, you know, that's kind of like the play style when you kind of pick up a Nah. He's just he's a lane bully, but he just doesn't really translate into much later on into the game, especially if you play around his enraged bar. He just becomes completely useless. So let's see what they're going to be. One, maybe Viego, maybe Zin, or they're going to be one Diana. Okay, so Croco, much preferring the Diana, even though the last game was a little bit rough. Again, though, bot lane really did grief that first game, so I don't mind seeing the Diana first pick here. I think she's incredibly powerful still. They are going to return with the Viego again, so they are happy to take that matchup again. It is a good matchup for Viego if Diana doesn't get ahead, but if Diana does get 1 or 2 kills, she is going to snowball the game completely out of control, so we will see what happens there. So we have the Viego locked in now. Maybe the Ashe again, to be honest. Ashe or Varus. Leona is banned in first rotation here. But I think they just take ADC here and conceal some of their draft. Oh, they do actually go with the LeBlanc. Now, Faker is very much known for his LeBlanc, so I'm very excited to see this. We did discuss at the start of the stream that there was a buff to LeBlanc on this specific patch. So what was the buff specifically? I have closed it, but she did get buffed on this patch, so you know, we will see that. Now we'll maybe see something like the Xin Zhao come out. Oh wait, we do have Viego. I mean, Viego can't top, but he will be jungle actually. But Viego and LeBlanc is an amazing combo, since, you know, LeBlanc can get Viego so fed it's unreal, and then from there. But LeBlanc was the champion that kind of got Faker the name of, you know, the unkillable Demon King, because when he's on this champion, there's just no touching him. You just can't get close. He's extremely proficient on this champ, so we'll see where it goes from here. So they actually lock in the Nah and the Set. So I think they're looking for a Set mid here, because obviously if LeBlanc jumps on top of Set, what Set can do is he can run between her and her distortion pad, and he can actually E them both. So we'll see how Faker, you know, plays around this, but they do get the cannon as well, so they have massive topside. Now, this is something that is very common with a lot of these teams as well, where they're saving ADC and support until later on in the draft. This is so that they can get a decent bot lane, because they're going to translate into dragons, and, you know, ADC can be very busted in the right situation as well. So they are focusing a lot of draft resources on bot lane. This is something that you see a lot with other teams as well, teams like Fnatic and also DK. So right now, the Varus ban, the Ashe ban, they're just looking to pinch ADCs, but they have to make sure that they actually leave ADCs open for them. Now, T1 do actually have R4, so they'll probably leave Aphelios open and potentially look to take it. Thresh is still available too, so I think if you're on the side of Sandbox right now, especially when you've got such a heavy engage comp, I think you're looking to ban the Thresh away here, just because otherwise it gives the ability to go Aphelios Thresh in these last phases of the draft, which is somewhat unorthodox, but it's completely fine, and with the rest of this team as well. Aphelios would have a great time here. He's got a massive amount of peel from the cannon, and on top of that, Viego is going to be jumping on their backline, so is LeBlanc, which gives Aphelios a massive amount of range. Also, on top of that, you can use things like Graviton to just completely be kind of like a supportive ADC. So that's why it's so good. They banned the Tam. I'm very curious why they'd opt to ban the Tarn there. That's kind of grief, but they do again take the Aphelios. Now Jinx is a great pick into it, and I'm so glad that they've picked this. Effort hovering that, he's probably going to go Thresh, yeah. So they're going for the Thresh to deny it from the Aphelios, but Aphelios now will just get the Braum and is just an oppressive lane. You can also put the Lulu with it, but I think Braum much more fits their comp, especially considering Diana and the set do want to jump in. So this was a very, very interesting draft, actually, and I think this bottom side of the actually this entire comp is insanely powerful. I mean, they do get the counter from Sandbox in mid with the set, and you know, Na can kind of hold his own a little bit into Kennen while he's in mini form, but overall I really like that the Jinx has come out. I think Jinx is a super underrated pick. I think she's very, very strong, so we'll see what actually happens from here now. I am actually favouring T1's comp, and I also think that coming in from that last game, they have a massive mental advantage. So I am interested to see where this goes now. This is a best of 5 series, so it could go to 5 games. I haven't actually watched this at all because I don't watch LCK besides from now, or I did in the past, but I haven't in quite a while. But while I'm not coaching a team right now, may as well watch over all the LCK games as well and see where you know, these teams are going to be looking to pinch and what they're going to be looking to do. So we see them just standard 5 point. There's no reason to overforce too much. So in terms of the jungle matchup here, Diana does clear faster than Aphelios. Let's have a look at runes again. So Faker, very heavy, kind of aggressive runes, a lot of healing in his kit, and Transcendence, Mana Flow, very, very nice. He's going to be looking to play very aggressive with that Mana Flow band. Bot lane Aphelios, completely kind of standard rune page. The Thresh does, the Braum has Stopwatch and DMAT, so they can force Prio whenever they want. So DMAT is kind of something that you look to use to just quickly kill off a cannon in a cannon wave that allows you to either recall much faster or rotate into an objective much faster as well. We also have DMAT out of the Thresh too, because I mean, maybe he just presumed that he was going to run it as well. Again, the bone plating, not a big fan of, but I can see why they take it. I just don't think it's as good, since, you know, against long range like Jinx and Aphelios as well, they're going to hit them once and proc that bone plating, and it's kind of rough. So in mid lane, we have, again, normal runes, fleet footwork, which is okay. I mean, sets melee, so he gets the full benefit from it. Dana with Conqueror, I mean, she's gone Tenacity, that's fine actually. There's a lot of CC from the side of T1, so the Tenacity is good here. Again, magical footwear, I don't like it as much, but so we see standard starts. Viego actually started solo, which is very good. Now junglers have this kind of mindset that they have to get a leash. No. Junglers don't need a leash. Like, it's very, very crazy, like how junglers just assume that they always need leash, because now look at the pressure that Aphelios and Braum have in this lane. Like, they're just basically walking up and just poking them out. I would like to see Teddy play this a little bit better, though. I do think his laning is a little bit iffy here, because they've already pushed wave 1, right? So the reason you push wave 1 is so that wave 2 will slow push back into you, and then, you know, you can then bounce with the cannon, so you can, you know, have it to push in. But one thing that I'm also seeing here is he is auto attacking the minions while the Viego is actually pathing towards topside. So right here, what you want to do is you don't want to hit these, you want to kind of hit them, start a little bit of a fight, not massive because they do have these minions, but while these 3 damage minions aren't actually spread out, what you want to do is have a little bit of a trade just so that you can keep this minion wave here, and then when this comes up, then you can kind of back off into here and kind of disengage from the trade, and then what you end up doing is you end up getting this slow push starting here, and it'll come into you, and then you're completely safe while your jungler wants to go and clear the top side of the map. So this is actually one of the first kind of big laning mistakes that we've actually come across. Now the Diana is also pathing towards topside. They did see that, but like, I mean, who knows? She might do something cheesy. Like, it's not very likely, but I still think that even if they would have let that wave pull back in, they would have got more pressure by freezing the wave away. So again, Braum is an amazing counter Thresh purely because if he throws out his hook, Braum can just E, and even though it will still kind of drag him, it won't go through. So can I get a nice little trade on the Na? Now Na is also coming into is in rage form soon, so maybe we might see a little bit of a scuffle top as soon as this wave kind of diffuses and dies down in terms of volume. So again, so as we can see, they did actually manage to achieve what they wanted to in bot lane with the kind of wave coming back into them. So they are actually in a much safer position right now. They don't really need the prio for that Scuttle Crab because Viego is pathing into topside. He is skipping a camp so that he can get it. There is a ward on it, but he should be able to get this very, very quick because he can stun to get rid of the shield. Diana nowhere near in a position to try and contest, so Jinx and Thresh also moving up to here. So this is an unfortunate situation because Aphelios Braum wanted the wave to come back into them so they could play safe, but now it means that, you know, Viego can't double crab. Now this doesn't matter too much though because overall Diana isn't getting a single Scuttle Crab now because they're team talk, so they did get it for that kind of vision, but now Teddy's in a position where he's safe, which because he's also safe, Braum was actually allowed to reset and spend his gold because, you know, there's no danger to Teddy right now, so he's actually in a roam situation right now. I would have also liked to see him potentially roam into mid lane earlier, so as we can see he's going now, but this was a very indecisive play. He was roaming into bot lane. So Carrier is having a little bit of roaming issues here because he should have just come straight into mid lane, because if we actually look here, the set is hard pushed into mid, so if Braum would have literally just come around like this and come around, then this could have potentially been a kill on the set. So this is like an interesting situation since, you know, the Aphelios wants to reset anyway, so it's very interesting. And now Braum is in a position where it's very, very difficult for him to actually help on mid. Faker does have his E though, so okay. So they are kind of backing away just because Faker doesn't have much mana. They did get a really, really good trade-off though. The Thresh also comes to the kind of aid of the set, but Set is just going to try and kind of even this wave out just so that LeBlanc can do as much, and she can, for example, go for a roam. But this wave is pushing into him. He's trimming it down slightly as well, so he can potentially look to maybe freeze it, because one thing you have to remember is Set is a resourceless champion. He doesn't have any mana or anything like that, so he can potentially freeze this wave, to be honest, and the LeBlanc might be in a little bit of trouble. She can potentially look for a trade, but we do probably need this Viego to come and help break this freeze right now. Now Viego is up on CS on Diana. Like I previously said, Viego is a champion that does kind of want to hard farm until 6 as well, but he can do things in the early game. He's walking to potentially take this wolf camp away from Diana, which that wolf camp should never be up, by the way. The Diana has completely griefed her kind of pathing here to have just a singular wolf camp available. If it was something like a singular Krug camp because she needed to go for an objective or something, fine. The set flash is like, what is that? Like, he flashed an auto, like, that's terrible from Fate. as we can kind of see, like when he goes things like the TF, he performs much better, but that's probably because he mains them, especially considering his name in games. So as we can see here now, the Jinx actually is just getting caught by the Graviton. Now he does actually have Graviton and the Chakram, so what he can do is actually, he's nowhere near level 6 yet, so it doesn't really matter too much, but he can Graviton them to root them in place, and then swap to White Gun and just do a ton of damage. So that's something he could look for. So this was actually the play on mid lane. We see it from Faker's perspective. We can see his APM is through the roof, but lovely sidestep of the set W there just to avoid the damage. Gets the E just before the minion arrives, and then gets a double auto off, and ends up killing. Now, he does just obviously push that cannon wave in. I would have also maybe liked to see him allow that cannon wave to come back, reset, come back into the lane, and then see if the Viego could come and gank around that time, since the set is now flashless. So I think that would have been a pretty good time to abuse the fact that set doesn't have flash, but can again an amazing trade on Summit top lane. So this top lane has been very, very close, but Canna really showing up with those trades. Kennen is again a very, very strong pick, especially with these boots. Now, even though Na does have magic resistance, these boots are still basically negating most of that magic resistance that he gets out of the boots. So Kennen is still doing a massive amount of damage to him, and you know, it will just get worse and worse, especially once he gets his alternator spike, which is absolutely huge for him. So we will see now. They are pathing towards his bot side. They might potentially look for the dragon right now, which would be very, very interesting. Right, so we can see here just a complete dive on bot lane. Teddy's got red-white. There is no danger right here to this dive. They didn't even need Faker or Wanna to actually come to this. Now Diana is going to get the Herald off this, but it doesn't really matter too much, because even though she's getting this Herald, she's only going to kind of like get back the plates that she's already losing in bot lane from this bad dive. So Set does actually get an ult, Set ults the Kennen over, but the Braum is here with Faker and Wanna, so this is a 4v3 right now. Diana completely whiffs her ult. She's going to get instantly locked up with the Braum passive. Now gets a really good ult off here, but it doesn't really matter too much. They have way too many gap closers. Kennen uses his ult just for space and does actually manage to CC quite a lot of them, but it doesn't really matter because they do get a lot of damage off on him. Now they can return and keep going for this though, because they're so strong right now, and I have no idea why Sandbox are deciding to take this fight, especially when they have a Braum and a Viego who is proccing his passive on multiple people. Faker with a lovely rotation here, but one of the things that we're seeing that's very clear now with T1's gameplay is it's focusing very much around Wanna and Faker, which, if anybody kind of watched the early seasons, so we will see this dive again. So we can see that the Jinx gets exhausted, so she's going to do no damage. Aphelios just walks up, instantly gets a kill. Thresh manages to get out because he leaves early, but the fact that the Jinx didn't is completely grief. And we do have a wait, so was that a Braum teleport? It was. So Braum has Spellbook. I didn't even realize until this point. Braum actually has Spellbook right now. So here we can see they tried to take the objective, which is a great call, by the way. But, you know, since our Braum actually TP top, like, they get so much. Carrier is a insane player. So they actually managed to get this kill on the Nana quite quickly. And then, as we can see, Kennen does manage to stun them all up, but it's not for long enough. Faker and is there. Carrier jumps back over the wall, and then Viego just goes crazy. Braum manages to actually still stay in this fight and get out with the smallest amount of HP. Jinx Rocket was about to kill, but he used his stopwatch. So overall, amazing play by Carrier. This was complete hard carrier by him. Like, he completely made up for that early, but again, Spellbook Braum. Interesting. Okay, so Aphelios actually misses his ult on the Jinx there, which would have been really bad for the Jinx because he had Graviton, so he would have instantly rooted her up. So they do actually manage to just get a kill on the Gnar right now, and this jungle, mid, and support synergy out of T1 is insane. I think this is probably, I think T1 from all the teams we watch right now are one of the strongest teams. Now, I do also understand that Sandbox are playing this terribly. They've completely griefed multiple situations that have just allowed T1 to kind of go crazy, and I really think they lost out in the draft as well, just because, you know, Fate clearly isn't too comfortable on this set, and they have Gnar top into a Kennen, so the Kennen's having a bit of a field day right now, especially on this alternator spike. A really good dodge from Seti by Faker there though. Just basically that was him knowing exactly what Set wanted to do, so he's kind of in his head, which is nice to see, to be honest. We can see the Warner comes down and he's just going instantly on this dragon. Again, this is a very late dragon at 11 minutes, but like we previously said, you need to wait for your item to your jungle quest to be completed before you go for it. And the thing is, Diana's never really in a position to actually take this dragon away, so I think actually drafting Diana B1 when Viego was available was very, very grief, especially considering Warner enjoys this champion as well. So again, Viego gets a nice pick on the Gnar. And again, the Jinx does manage to get away from this one, but the wave is completely doomed. Unfortunately, though, Teddy's just instantly pushing. They're looking for the dive, but I think it would have been much more beneficial here to just freeze that wave and just stop the Jinx ever being able to walk up again, because this Jinx is still going to do a lot in team fights, and Aphelios has an item advantage. So instead of pushing this wave right now, you just trim it off. Well, you don't even need to trim this wave off. Just allow it to come in and hold it back here, and then whenever Jinx walks past this point, you just kill her, because she doesn't have the items to do anything, especially considering Aphelios has Gale Force this game as well. He's, you know, feeling very confident, and like there's no real way that they're going to get on top of it. So or not that they're going to get on top of him, but that he's actually going to need them to get on him. So this is actually really, really good right now, because we're in a situation where, well, I mean, it could have been really good, sorry, where he could have just completely zoned them off the wave. So this is a little bit of a mistake. I think they're trying to force this tier 1 tower, but I just don't think it's really as worth. They do have the Herald to use, so they are, you know, preferably wanted to use it on a side lane, but I would have much preferred to see the Kennen get unlocked rather than the Aphelios, because, you know, they had a perfect opportunity to zone the Aphelios, so Kennen gets completely popped. But we do have a TP coming in from Faker. Unfortunately, he does actually manage to get on top of the Diana, but I think he will actually die from this. Amazing use of clone though, holy, like, that was insane. And let's just see him run away, let's just see him get out. Again, he just popped back, manages to get the chains onto the set, and another W to get away from the Gnar ult. So, incredible gameplay by Faker. Like, I mean, he does die and get shut down, but the amount of time he bought for his team, and now they just get to take this tier 2 mid. I mean, I would like to see the Viego just push that even more, but I think he's just going to take the red buff and then look to dive Jinx in bot lane anyway. So, Faker just buying so much time for his team. It's kind of crazy. So Faker's LeBlanc is still very insane. So we'll see a replay here of what actually happened. I mean, Faker just popped off. I mean, Kana here, obviously he gets ulted by the set. He does get his ult off early, so he manages to get a lot of damage on Croco. Faker comes in and actually manages to clear this up, but there is a pink ward in that brush as well. So what he does here is he starts walking towards the tower, but then actually him walks away, and then he's just going to W straight back so that the Gnar Q doesn't hit him, gets an instant chains on the set, and then manages to dodge the now ult as well. Unfortunately, his W wasn't on low enough cooldown so that he could get out of here. So he did give away 600 gold, but overall, still amazing play, especially considering they managed to get so much from that. Now, they didn't actually dive Jinx Thresh bot either there, but the Viego did actually manage to get that red buff, so Braum does manage to get the Q on the Jinx, but there's no real follow-up for it. They're just going to look for this first tower in bot lane, right? Well, not first tower, but first bot lane tower right now. So Aphelios is almost 50 CS up on the Jinx, so she is incredibly behind right now, and this is the problem with Jinx. It's if you don't have a team that will kind of play around her bot lane, taking something like the Diana jungle doesn't really work as well with Jinx, because she is kind of in one of them positions where if she gets to a 1 or 2 items, she's going to completely carry the game, but if she doesn't get there in time, then it becomes very rough. Now, we're probably going to see Aphelios turn that longsword into a serrated dirk and still go to Collector here. So there we go, he's just done that. Which, I mean, I don't really like Collector as an item, but it does give you quite a lot of power on Aphelios. And they do have a Gnar and a Set and a Thresh who are going to be slightly tanky, so that Execute is actually going to do more than what he would do with 1 or 2 autos. So it is a viable pick, this game. I do think in a lot of games people take it when it's not viable, but I think it's somewhat comfort. Just because you can win a game with bad items on Viego, no problem, so now, again, SKT are just looking to close out this game. Graviton, so he Gale Force into the Graviton route there, which is a really, really nasty combo on Aphelios, actually. I think that's what he's going to be looking to do most of this game, is kind of Gale Force forward, auto the Jinx, and then just Graviton from way, way away, which is going to then allow him to land his ultimate, which is going to convert into potential kills. So Aphelios in this game, his kind of goal is to just be a secondary pick kind of champion. Now, the Viego does try to clear that red ward, but he does kind of just push it out. Completely fine. Hey, how's it going, Annabelle? So, how's your day, man? So, now, Faker is going for, I'm not sure if he's going, oh, he's going for Cosmic Drive here now. Which again, he does have enough AP just with 1 item for it, so it's okay as a second item, and it's going to give him a lot of movement speed, which is going to allow him to dodge the Gnar, dodge the Set, just do a lot. So Teddy and Kyria actually look to get out. Kyria gives his life here for Teddy, which is, you know, good to see, and they do trade it for mid lane, so they actually lost quite a lot of that, because a tier 2 in mid is worth a lot more than a tier 1 in top. So what I would like to see is tier 1 just go and get the dragon now, just because, you know, it's there, it's available, and you get an infernal or a mountain soul. So that's what the Viego is actually going for now. So they are going to trade it for Herald, but Herald at this stage of the game really doesn't have that much value. Faker is looking to just try and do some damage. At this point, he is going to completely one-shot somebody, especially the Jinx if he gets on her. So I think that's what he's actually looking for right now, to see if he can potentially kill Jinx. Teddy is here too, but they can potentially stop them getting this Herald, I think. Oh, Teddy does have Sniper right now. It's a shame he doesn't have Blue Gun as well, but we do see the TP come in here. This TP is super late. The fight is already over. I do not think this is good. This is terrible. So that's kind of like a Chinese playstyle, like where, you know, the fight is potentially looking to brew, so he's instantly just used TP to get to that objective fight, but the objective's already gone. So what I would have liked to see him do instead is just keep pushing in the spot lane, get prio on it, and then just go with the Viego into the jungle to deny this red buff away from whoever decides to take it. I think Gnar is going to take it here. I think it would have been better on Jinx, but this is potentially going to allow Gnar the ability to combat the Kennen in the side lane, especially if his ultimate is down, but it's not. Obviously, for Kennen, it's a little bit rough using your ultimate on one person, but as we can see here, the play again, they jump over with the blast gun. One manages to get out, but there's no way that Kyria can tank that hook and also get out. So he'd already used W. It just meant that it was a quick kill. So, as we can see, SKT with a 3.6k gold lead right now. So at this stage of the game, SKT are just kind of looking for 1 or 2 picks, which they can get very, very easily with their comp. As we can see, Aphelios is going into that collector. Again, there's no real AP threat from Sandbox this game either, because the Diana just isn't far enough ahead, and at this point, even that null magic mantle out of the Braum is completely shutting her out of being able to actually kill him. We do see the Kennen actually going Void Staff second, which is really good to see, considering it gives magic penetration and overall percentage threat too. So it means that even if they do start building MR and significant amounts of it, it's not really going to matter. Canna is still just going to rip through all of them, and Faker, to be honest. The double AP threat here is absolutely huge. So Faker's, again, clearing these sideways, so we do like to see that. He is pretty much a 10 CS a minute, so that's good to see. Obviously, he is extremely talented, but, you know, even against Fate, who, again, is in playoffs of LCK, like, he's just had way more impact than him, and, you know, it's just looked a little bit one-sided, to be honest. But again, like Dana isn't really in a position to do anything this game. They are looking to just get vision controlled around Baron, just so that they can, you know, deny it and potentially threaten it. Just because right now they are looking for a fight, and if they can get a fight, then they're going to easily win it due to the fact that they're so much stronger than them. Warner tries to dodge that Dana key, but doesn't manage to go through. So they are playing very kind of shallow vision in their jungle, but T1 are just in a dominant position right now. They can just walk up constantly. Canna is pushing top lane, and they might actually just look to rush Baron. Aphelios does have white-blue, which means his teamfight potential is absolutely massive right now. So maybe he actually looks to... oh, he's just actually dropped white for Graviton. So, I mean, he still has a massive amount of damage from his ultimate, and he can be a supportive kind of champion with his Q too here, but... they're not going to rush this Baron, so we do have Infernal Soul, so that should be a goal of them. So right now, honestly, I really don't think they should look to take this fight. I think they should just look to potentially just rotate into bot side and just go get this dragon right now. I think it's way more beneficial for them. They can keep their vision control of Baron right now, because Faker is in a position where if they walk up, he's just going to one-shot someone. So... if they instantly respond with damage like that, the Faker's always going to jump back, but if they don't respond instantly with damage, it's going to get its full ability rotation off, and it's going to do so much damage. This Jinx right now is in a very, very dangerous position. Set tried to E the LeBlanc again, but again, instant jump back from Faker, which is nice. Now, Teddy is actually reset and he's on the map right now, so Faker has bought more than enough time now for Aphelios to just go crazy. He's going to push mid in, and then they're going to look to potentially go on the dragon and start a fight. So we can see here that the mid has been pushed in and the SKT are moving. They do get the Scuttle Crab as well, and they're just going to start this instantly. If they walk up, they're just going to turn and fight, because they're so strong right now in comparison that they can just easily take a fight. Canna is coming in with a flank on the side as well, so the set does interrupt him, but that was very unfortunate. He would have got a very, very good flank, especially because he's got his flash as well. Aphelios with the 4-man Graviton, like crazy strong. That was such a good ultimate. It actually allowed oh, but Sandbox did get the dragon there, so how did they get that dragon? Was it just a smite fight? I wasn't actually focusing on the dragon with that. So Jinx actually last hit the dragon. Okay, that's really bad considering. Oh, so Warner didn't actually have his smite available, I don't think, or maybe he smited it wrong. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get a replay. But Croco didn't even use his smite there. So, but so that is unfortunate for T1, but they can actually look to potentially just collapse on the Baron right now, considering Sandbox have no vision of it. So maybe that's what they're going to look to do. So Braum resetting so that he can get more wards. He's probably going to get 2 controls. Yeah, and now he's going to come back. Faker's got 2 control wards as well, which is pretty interesting to see. Not sure if I like it too much, to be honest, because I think Faker right now being, you know, like a massive AP threat, I think it's much more beneficial for him to just go into more damage instead of both of those control wards. He just used both of them. So he just used a control ward to check the jungle entrance and then in the bush. So, you know, I guess he's playing a vision denial game. I'm not sure it was too worth. I guess they have no sweepers right now, so that's probably why he did it. Braun's got one of his control wards down now too. They're just looking to re-establish vision control in this area. That one little sneaky ward is actually giving away where they are though, but Sandbox don't even react. So now LeBlanc manages to get on top of effort, does a massive amount of damage, does manage to just get back out, but Faker is kill hungry right here. He wants more, but they are just going to reset and potentially look to start forcing a Baron. Summit does have his Mega available, so nice sidestep from Warner, but he will look to use Natal in kind of an aggressive way now, so we are kind of looking for that right now. We're looking for them to go a little bit more aggressive, especially with this gold lead that they currently have, so... So they instantly get this tower. They want to get this tower so then get more priority for the Baron, because right now they couldn't really push a wave enough to get enough priority to instantly rotate into an objective there. So just working to get that tier 1 taken down is pretty important, and they now have 4 towers to Sandbox's 1 as well, so that's a little bit rough in the side of Sandbox, but they did go and retake control of Baron Vision. I wonder if Thresh sweeps that little sneaky ward outside. He did, I'm fairly certain. But they have mid prior right now, and Thresh is resetting. They could also just look to try and force Baron, to be honest. They did actually manage to get that ward that was just outside the Baron, so quite good that effort kind of knew about that spot, because that ward can actually stay there for considerable amounts of time sometimes. So right now Warner is going absolutely crazy in the backline. He's just trying to do as much as he can. He did use his ult quite early, which it is an execute, so using it early is a little bit rough, but Kennan's damage is so goddamn large, it's unreal. Faker does actually manage to get Croco's stopwatch here as well, so what they should look to do here is just reset, not reset, but just go straight into Baron. Aphelios has red white as well, so he's going to shred this super quick, and if they come, it's going to be able to turn a fight very easily. Summit is in Mega now as well, which is even more reason for them to go to Baron, because if they do try and respond to this Baron and come, and that's not going to have Mega, so it's going to be very easy to kill, and they're actually just going to sit and wait. Faker's looking to see if he can get picks before the objective, but they're just making the decision to just rush it. I mean, they are very strong right now, but the smites are still equal, so they need to make sure that the Diana doesn't manage to get around the back of this pit. Kinda on the kind of disruption. Obviously Baron does reduce your resistances by a massive amount, so they don't want to take that fight there while they still have their resistances reduced. Another one thing I want to note as well is that Jinx does also have lethal tempo, which I think lethal tempo Jinx is actually better than Conqueror. But the thing with Conqueror is it allows you to use your rockets in a fight and kind of skirt around the fight, get up to your Conqueror stacks, and then when you get that first reset, you have the massive amount of kind of healing from Conqueror, so you can sort of run in and heal massively. Now Kana is getting caught here by the Gnar, so kind of greedy to be that far up, especially when he still has tier 2 tower. That's going to take a lot of pressure away from T1's kind of what they want to achieve right now. But this is what I like to see. Teddy's coming and establishing mid prio instantly so that they can go into this dragon. Now one thing I'd like to see right here is the Aphelios go and take the dragon on his own, and then everybody else reset and go into top, just because Aphelios is a little bit more supportive in this game. So they're going to get the dragon. This is the third 4T1, which is very good, because it means now when it comes to this fourth dragon, Sandbox have to fight around it. If they don't, then they're just going to lose, due to the fact that, you know, it's going to be Infernal Soul, and that's very good on the side of T1 right now, especially considering they have that LeBlanc and the Kennen is so strong. So here we can see that the Thresh Lancer came out early and kind of got pushed away. He did all over the Thresh walls, but it didn't really matter too much. Kind of comes in with massive amounts of damage, but Croco manages to get away from Faker killing him due to him using stopwatch. and in the back, they are just kind of going a little bit nuts. But here we can see kind of trying to get a reset off there. Very, very greedy. It just shouldn't have really happened. There's no reason to reset there, especially when you have a bush and a tower right by you. So nah, actually opting into the wit's end this game, I do quite like that, to be honest. Faker's got his Void Staff now, so he's basically on a massive power spike. This is one of the points where LeBlanc is incredibly strong, since he already has a Zhonya's as well, I'm fairly certain. So he's actually going to be doing a ridiculous amount now, yeah. So he has 3 items, which is giving him 15 Magic Pen just from them items, and then an extra 6 from Ludens, puts him at 21, and then 18 from his boots, which is putting him to a grand total of 39 magic resist, which means that just off magic pen alone, he's penetrating that amount of magic resist, sorry, I mean. So he's actually doing a massive amount of damage right now, and on top of that, also on top of that 39 magic pen, he's also got that Void Staff, which is reducing by 40% of their MR originally. So if you've got, say, 100 MR, it's going to take 40 away, and then it's going to take that 39. So you're going to end up with 20, roughly 20 magic resist, which is lower than base MR. So base MR for most champions is about 32, whereas you do have exceptions like Talon, who has like 39, but it's a very much of an exception. MR usually tops out a base around the 32 to 33 mark. So if you can break that amount with Magic Pen, then you're going to do a ridiculous amount of damage. And if you do actually penetrate their entire magic resist, so right now Jinx has no magic resist, so Faker's actually going to be penetrating everything and more, which means he actually has the opportunity to do more damage out of his spells than base. So once you're breaking that 0 MR barrier, it's not like if they go to minus 10 MR against you, you'll do the same damage. You'll do it kind of flips the opposite way. So for example, if we look at, say, Mercs, sorry, somebody was messaging me. So what was I saying? Sorry. So yes, so if you look at Merc Threads, for example, which give 25 MR, that's, you know, roughly about 15 to 20% damage reduction if you've only got those boots. So if we flip that and they have minus 20 MR, then you're going to be doing you know, about 15 to 20% additional damage on top of your spells to them. So it does work both ways. Obviously it does still have diminishing returns in the negatives, but you know, you don't really worry too much about that because you won't get that far into the negatives. But this Jinx here, like, really needs to pick up something like a Wit's End. The fact that she's itemized the way she has, choosing Rapid Fire Cannon over, say, PD. Now, Rapid Fire Cannon is just so that she can do some damage while staying out of the range of LeBlanc, but it's still not enough. And then she has gone with the IE here for maximum damage, but I think she needed some like Wit's End, considering the two main damage dealers from SKT side right now are going to be Kennen and LeBlanc, which are both magic damage, and they've both gone full penetration. So if she had have picked up that Wit's End, she would have been in a very good position. So I think due to the game state right now and the fact that you know, Jinx hasn't really pulled off whatsoever, and T1 are only one dragon away from Soul right now, is very good. Now I think what they're actually going to look to do though is they're going to look to trade Baron for a dragon. Now unfortunately they did manage to spot them inside the brush when they were trying to bait, but so now they do actually get the Prio in mid lane, but we're looking at a potential fight here. Faker jumping in for a poke, but he does get caught by the by an auto. I think it was the fleet footwork that proc there. So Summit is actually just rushing Dragon on his own, which is pretty good considering now they can potentially fight the Baron, and Summit does have his TP available also. So this is a very risky play for T1 to make. I think going for the Dragon would have been much more valuable here, considering it's a Soul and the champions that they have. But Diana steals it away from Warner. That was so grief by T1. Like, it's as if they're really panicking Even though there's absolutely no reason to. They do manage to completely clean the fight though, but they've just given away Baron and a soul, so they've basically lost both objectives there. So very questionable kind of objective control there, like trying to sort of rush the Baron, not taking into consideration where Summit is. So now they're also pushing into a Baron Nashor, which, you know, 4 of them are dead, so it does still work out for SKT just because they managed to clean the fight up, but Sandbox are really doing their best to kind of stay in this game right now. So here we can see Diana just bursts it. It doesn't really matter anymore. So it used to matter that she was a level down, but it doesn't really anymore. So, but here the Diana gets killed and there's just a huge fight going on. Faker manages to get the Jinx, which means that they have no damage anymore. So now they're just looking to run people down. So, I mean, really nice play by Faker. I mean, unfortunately that the vehicle missed that. It was a 50-50, and to be honest, it was a team decision to go for it, and the team shouldn't have gone for it. So, overall, it was kind of a bad kind of play for T1, but they managed to bring it back. And Aphelios is just so strong right now. He's sat 5-0-0 with 336 CS, so extremely powerful right now. And he also has the ability to just instantly clear out waves. He's picked up his IE2. Jinx is opting into a Hex Drinker rather than a Wit's End, which I don't think is good, considering Jinx benefits so much from attack speed. The more attack speed you get, the better. So I really think that it's bad, especially when she's gone for a rapid fire, which gives her a lot less attack speed than what, say, a Phantom Dancer would. So she's traded a lot of range there. So Faker did actually delay his Cosmic Drive for quite a bit, because I think it was because he used his stopwatch and he needed that Sonya's. But he's sat on 4 items now. So that's a fat 44 magic pen. So even right now, like, even though LeBlanc does start falling off later on into the game, Faker is showing kind of that he's not slowing down anytime soon, just because he's so far ahead. He's even up on CS against a set, which obviously is okay because it's a ranged matchup, but LeBlanc is a very difficult champion to farm on, so this really does just show his kind of proficiency on the champion. So he's just clearing up bot lane right now. I'm very intrigued to see a T1 versus DK game, to be honest, because I think if SKT play like they are doing now, I think they actually have a really good chance of beating them, which would be pretty cool. So Aphelios is clearing out mid lane right now. There's no objectives to actually take yet. If I'm SKT right now, I'm looking to wait until 120 to just take the dragon. I really don't like that the Jinx decided to go into a more of Mortius instead of a Wit's End. Really just think it doesn't provide anywhere near as much value. Since Wit's End gives so much magic resist, it's kind of crazy. So, very controlled game right now. T1 are just looking to get mid prio. Summit is actually about to go mega now, which is very bad for the side of Sandbox, because he is going to drop out of mega now, and then they can just look to start 5v5. They are fighting for this mid pressure right now, like in all aspects, but Na is about to drop out of mega, so T1 want to start a fight now. So this is the time where they do want to be looking to fight, not splitting like they are. Aphelios gets a lovely ult, does quite a lot of damage, but is it enough? So he does actually manage to keep doing damage, but he has to use his stopwatch to get away from a Threshold. So he does actually have white-blue right now, so I would have actually preferred if he waited to use his ultimate until he was on white-blue, just because blue does a massive amount of damage. Now, they are just looking to rush this Baron, I think, but Canner is coming in with a flank on the side, on a control ward. They have no idea he's there. So he does actually manage to zone Jinx out entirely, and he will look to kill Effort. Actually, you'll look to kill all of them. They're kind of just going nuts in this team fight in the back, killing Jinx and Thresh. So it's very, very interesting. How did Teddy die? I guess they both jumped in. I was too busy watching Canna, but we'll have to see from a replay. Unfortunately, Sandbox get a third Infernal Dragon, which is very dangerous considering this Jinx is on 5 items. Well, 4 items right now. So they do manage to get Crocker, though. I have no idea why he was there. And as we see here again, this Faker and Warner duo is just going nuts. So like I was saying earlier, I think the last time I've seen anybody have this much synergy with Faker on a team was in the Faker Bengi days. So this could be a good resurgence for Faker having Warner in the jungle, because they're just both incredibly talented and doing so much. So here they're just going to run down Summit, and now this is going to allow them to just go straight into the Baron right now and just rush it. Faker did try and reset, but I mean, he doesn't really want to reset yet. He probably wants to look to get this control ward down and then reset after he's kind of taken the Baron. But the Aphelios are coming up as well, so we're going to see the replay here. So I'm going to focus less on Canna here, because Canna in the back actually does work. So Faker actually gets ulted by the set, but it doesn't really matter. Teddy and Carrier get completely one-pop by the set W. So this was actually just Set completely carrying this fight, actually, with the true damage on his W. Here we can see that the Prince and Effort just get completely zoned out of the fight by Canna, so it was actually such a good play by him. And he's also focusing on the Jinx primarily rather than the Thresh, but he kills them both off very convincingly. And just really crazy that Sandbox are allowed to make these plays, considering you know, they're so far behind. We see the play keep going, and Croco dies here, and then they manage to kill Fate, and Summit dies too after he manages to get Canna. But that is 700 gold going over to him, but it doesn't matter too much. So as we can see, they just finish off Fate, and now it's just this 2-man just like absolute steamroll. Okay, so, and they actually get 1,000 gold shut down for that. Now, at this stage of the game, it doesn't matter as much, because everybody's almost at full build, but it is going to help towards getting to that final item, which they are looking for now. A 40-minute game. This is a little bit different from the first one, because this one seemed like SKT were very, very ahead, and they just really struggled to end this game out. So now they're actually in a position where I don't think there's any opportunity for them to lose, just because Aphelios is so big. As long as Aphelios doesn't die again, I think they're completely fine. So again, they're just kind of looking for these fights right now. Canna is in mid lane, and he's about to get his TP up any moment, so they can potentially look to force this right now. If Faker manages to get on top of this Jinx, like, she's just going to get completely blown up. He does unfortunately miss the chains, so that's kind of unfortunate, but they are just going to use this Baron to push this bottom tower out. And I really like the inhibitor play that they've done here. They've cracked all 3 base turrets, and now what they're going to do is use this Baron to push this tower and get this third inhibitor turret, and then they're just going to look to completely end the game out with 3 inhibs. So Faker just walking up trying to do things. Thresh, I think it's just completely pointless for Effort to throw his hook out there, because Faker's just always going to jump back unless you're going to throw it in a position that will catch Faker where he currently is and where his platform is. No point. But as you can see there, Faker doing almost like 60 to 70% of Summit's damage, and I mean, Summit is pretty much a tank, like, and he does have a wit's end. We do see a TP coming in at the back from Fate, but we have the response TP from Canna instantly, and now Fate's actually going to die if Faker manages to land a chain, which unfortunately he doesn't. That was a little bit sloppy from Faker, but those chains can be quite difficult to land. They do have a dragon coming up in 50 seconds, so they are going to reset. Aphelios is going to back and completely finish his QSS item right now. He's going to get Mercurials. Faker is full build also with a Rabadons too, which is lovely, really, really nice to see. We have jungle, which he's still sat on his executioners, but as we can see, the support are always going to be further behind because they're rotating around the map and kind of doing a lot. And I think Carrier is putting absolute work here, especially using things like the TP on the Braum. Very, very good. So the Brawn Q does slightly miss the Jinx. Aphelios instantly one-shot that minion, which obviously is full build. They're just going to rush this, I think, as much as they can. Braum's going to use his ultimate to be a disruptor, and now they get the Infernal Soul. Finally, it feels like T1 have been really struggling this entire time to get this last dragon, but now they do, even though the enemy does have 3 Infernal. There has been 5 Infernal dragons this game. That's 25 minutes of just pure Infernals. But this is probably going to mean the win for T1, just because they've got the top inhib. They're going to get a mid one. The Kennen is actually pushing bot, so now they'll get the triple inhib, and this is one of the reasons why you don't want to take the inhibs until you're in a game-winning position, because if you stack them up like this, then you leave them in a position where what can they really do to defend this? We've got 2 inhibitor minions being synced coming out on top and mid, so all SKT need to do is just keep this bot wave pushed out right now, and they will just instantly win. I mean, Sandbox really needs to look for some kind of play. Summit gets completely chunked out by Faker though, and now they're really struggling. Canna is looking for these flanks, which I feel like Canna's flanks on Kennen have been so good. He's been constantly looking for them all the time in these games. So as we can see here, they're just pushing this out now. There's multiple members of Sandbox here, but they're just going to lose their base to super minions if they stay. There's no option that they have but to give this tower away to T1 right now. They managed to clear the wave, but the super minions are just crazy now. Jinx is a champion that can actually clear super minions, but what T1 are looking to do is reset, get potions, and then as 5-man, well, finish off their items, get potions, and then just come and see if they can get this last inhib. But actually they're just going to rotate straight into the Baron, since the enemy can't really do anything to stop it due to the fact that their inhibitor is still down for almost 2 minutes in top lane and 3 minutes 24 in mid right now. So what T1 are going to do, sorry, I keep calling them SKT, is okay, so Effort gets completely one-shot by Faker pretty much, and now there's no way they can really walk in to do anything. Jinx is going to get rocket off, but they're just going to be able to get this Baron very easily. Canna and Faker both have TPs, so I wouldn't mind seeing one of them just TP to the spot wave instantly and Baron buff it up straight away. I think they will reset first, just, you know, to make sure that they're full HP and mana before they go for that, but I do expect one of them to just TP down, if not both of them. Okay, so there's one. This is Canna. No, this is Faker. Oh no, this is Braum. I completely forgot that Braum has Spellbook. So Braum comes, buffs up these minions, and now they're just going to use these minions to push in. So Carrier again putting in absolute work. Like, this guy is incredibly talented. So this side of SKT completely dominant right now. Even this game, I mean, I think they've made a lot of mistakes in this game, and this game was much better to kind of evaluate what kind of level they're at as a team. I don't think anybody's specifically inted. I think everybody's played pretty well, but there has been some interesting situations in this game, so... So again, they're just looking to keep this pushed out. Top inhib has respawned now. That's one less lane to deal with, but we can see here the power of Jinx. So like the amount of wave clear she has, that's an amazing Braum ult. The Diana gets a really big ult, and Fate is also coming around. He's going to actually ult Teddy instantly, I think. Oh, no, he's not. So Teddy actually manages to get out with his stopwatch, with his QSS. So, I mean, to be honest, I think this was a good attempt by Sandbox to potentially save the game, and they had to force something because otherwise all their inhibs were going to go. But I think overall T1 just very controlled. A lot of mistakes, especially with, for example, prioritizing Baron over Dragon. So objective prioritization. So objective prioritization was pretty bad. Carrier is insane. So let's just quickly fill out our spreadsheet. So So let's have a look. So what's this? T1 versus LSB 2021 LCK Summer play off round 1. So let's have a look. So in this game, what did they have? So T1 had Kennen, Viego, LeBlanc, Aphelios, and Braun. LSB had Diana, Set, Jinx, and Thresh. So again, I really like that this Thresh came out. Oh, let's just end the video there for YouTube actually.